Hi, second grade writers. Today we get to write our second opinion letter. Today we're going to add something new in our letter to make our writing more convincing. Today we are going to add quotes from our book. So let's look at our learning target. It says, I am learning to add quotations so I make my writing more convincing. So today we're actually going to take a quote right from the book to help make our reason sound really convincing as someone reads it. So here's what we're going to be looking for. I want you to actually go back to your book. You're going to reread your book, okay? And you're going to find a part that matches one of your reasons. So you're going to find a part to match the reason. Then you're actually going to use quotes around it and say exactly what it is. Now, you got a piece of paper that looks like this in your packet, quoting a book. These are 3 different things that you could try as you quote a book. Maybe it's going to say, for example, in the book it says, and then you're going to tell me what it says. Or you say, on page blank, you can read, and you're going to tell me exactly what it says. Or you could say, the author writes, and you're going to tell me exactly what it says. And by using a quote, it makes it more convincing for your opinion. So let's look at Goldilocks. That was the book that I chose to plan. Okay, and I'm going to look at my reasons here. So my first reason, okay, was that she didn't obey her mom. So then what I would want to do is go and look in my book to find the part where she doesn't obey her mom and see if I could use a quote right from that section that would help support my opinion. So I'm turning to the page where it says right here. It says, one morning Goldilocks' mother sent her to buy muffins in the next village. You must promise not to take the shortcut through the forest, she said. I've heard that bears live there. I promise, said Goldilocks, but to tell the truth, Goldilocks was one of those naughty little girls who do exactly as they please. Ooh, that part right there, I think I could quote. So where it says she didn't obey her mom, I, in my writing, can try to put that right in there. So let's see what that would look like as we write today.
All right, friends, I've started my letter. I have my date and my greeting, and I've done my beginning. I'm going to read it to you. Wow, I just read Goldilocks and the 3 Bears. Goldilocks does not follow the rules. Can you believe that? My opinion is that Goldilocks is naughty. And now I'm getting ready to start my first reason. My first reason was that she doesn't obey her mom. So one reason, Goldilocks is naughty, is she doesn't obey her mom. In the book, her mom tells her not to take a shortcut in the woods, but she does anyway. So right here, I am going to write, her mom told her not to take a shortcut in the woods. But she did. Now, friends, remember, we are working on quoting. So I want to use a quote to make this more convincing, like her mom told her not to go to the woods, but she did it anyway. So if I look at my book, I am going to pull this quote right here. It says, but to tell the truth, Goldilocks was one of those naughty little girls who do exactly as they please. So I am looking at my quoting book paper. All right, and I think I have for example, or on page, or the author writes. I'm going to try this bottom one. The author writes, and so I'm going to start with the author writes, and then I'm going to take these words right here and put them in those quotes, okay, because I'm pulling it right from the book. Because when you use words that are right from the book, you put them in quotes. So, the author writes, the author writes, and I'm going to put a comma here, pausing, and my first quotes, they're right there. And I'm going to pull exactly what it says in the book. The author writes, Goldilocks was one of those naughty little girls who do exactly as they please. And that's where it stops. So I'm going to put a period and I'm done quoting, so I put quotes at the end. So where you start the quote and where you end the quote, you have your quotation marks. Okay, I'm ready to move on to my next reason, and I'm using my transition word brown paper and my red writing folder to help me spell these correctly. Another reason Goldilocks is naughty. I'm always coming back to my opinion for every reason, because that way it's convincing someone that she truly is naughty. Sometimes when you say things multiple times, it truly does convince somebody. So another reason Goldilocks is naughty is she went into the bear's house. Oh, it's the bear's house, friends. I'm going to put an apostrophe S. It belongs to the bears. She went into the bear's house without permission. And I'm going to add another quote here. So I'm going to go back to the text and I'm going to turn to the part in the book where it talks about her going into the house. So it says, a few minutes later, Goldilocks arrived at the bear's house. She walked right in without even bothering to knock. Oh, that matches my reasons, because I said she went in without permission, so I can quote this part right here. So I'm going to take these words right out of the book and put them into quotes. She walked right in the house without even bothering to knock. That's convincing my reader that she's naughty. It matches my reason. Okay, so I think for this next one, I did the author writes, so I might try this one. For example, in the book it says, and then write what I just read to you. So, for example, comma, did I get it? Yeah. For example, in the book, it says, okay, so there's my comma, I'm pausing, and now I'm going to put my quotes. Here's where it starts. It says, she walked right in without even bothering to knock. That tells me that she was doing whatever she wanted and was being naughty. So then I'm going to put my end mark there, and then when my quote's done, I put my quote marks again. Remember, where the quote starts and where the quote stops, we put our quotes. So she walked right in without even bothering to knock. That is not nice. If I didn't know somebody, I would not go right into their house. One last reason Goldilocks is naughty. Going back to my opinion again. One last reason Goldilocks is naughty is she breaks things in the the bear's house. It's the bear's house, apostrophe S. And friends, I could have said she breaks baby bear's chair, but I want to tell a little bit more. Remember, we're working on that elaboration piece. So I'm going to say she breaks things, and then I'm going to elaborate by telling you about the things that she breaks. So she breaks things in the bear's house. She knocks down the porridge bowls. Okay, now I'm going to say she also breaks baby bear's chair. His chair. Ooh, lots of apostrophes. Lots of things that belong. Baby bear's chair. Okay, so now I want to give an example. So I'm going to go back to the book, always going back to the book to find your quotes and your examples. So here's the part where she is falling down. Then Goldilocks sat in the chair and it was just right. Neither too hard or too soft. In fact, she liked it so much. She rocked and rocked and rocked until the chair fell completely into pieces. My, oh my. So if I'm going to quote my book today, I already tried the author writes, and I already tried a for example, so maybe I'm going to try this one right here. On page, this is page 15, you can read. Okay, so now I'm going to use this part about the chair breaking into pieces as a quote to make it more convincing to show she's naughty because she broke that chair. So on page 15, you can read, there's my comma right there, I'm pausing, starting my quotes. She rocked and rocked until the chair fell completely to pieces. And remember, boys and girls, you want to make sure that you're writing exactly what the book says when you're quoting. So I'm not going to change any of these words. I want it to say exactly what the book says. So I'm starting my quote. She rocked and rocked until the chair fell completely to pieces. And I end my quote with my quotations right there. Now I'm going to start, I have my reasons and I've told a little bit more for each one, and I'm going to start to wrap up my letter, just telling my reader one last time, right, that she's naughty. When the bears came home, she didn't even say sorry for the things she did. When the bears came home, she didn't even say sorry. She just ran away. So I'm going to restate my opinion now. Goldilocks is naughty. I hope I'm convincing you about this. Read this book, please. I know if you read this book, you'll agree with me. I know you will. Oops. Agree with me that Goldilocks is naughty. And then I end my letter with my closing right over here. I'm going to have to squeeze it on. I wrote a lot today, and I know you can write a lot too. Love, Mrs. Wilkinson. Okay, friends, when you do your writing today, there's 3 three things that I want you to make sure you're using. I want you to use your checklist to make sure you have all the parts, introduction, all of your reasons and closing. Your how to quote a book, you can use these three in your writing today. And then of course, I want you to actually have the book so that you can pull the quotes right out.
All right, second graders, it is now your turn to write your opinion letter. So in your letter today, I want you to use all those great parts from your checklist. So you're still going to have a great introduction, your opinions, your reasons, your elaboration, but you're also going to add a quote in your writing, maybe 2 or 3 for each reason. So make sure you use this to help you as you add quotes into your letter today. I know you can do it. So now you're going to go find your book. You're going to get your letter paper. You're going to quote it up and write it, and it's going to be wonderful and excellent. Work hard, and don't forget to send it to your teacher on Class Dojo when you finish. All right, writers, off you go.